Hello! I thought that today I'm going to build a veggie garden. I picked this beautiful location next to the lake and I thought this spot will do perfectly for the garden. For starters, I'm going to create some elevated beds to plant our veggies. We need to leave some room for the water. Okay, one more. Nice. Now we can decorate the beds a little bit. Beautiful. We can prepare our dirt to plant our plants. I will create next some paths to outline a little bit our garden. I'm going to plant some vines here to have grapes. Now I have a nice outline. I have some paths that I can walk in, I have some elevated beds, and I have more or less a plan. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to delineate my areas using fences. I'm also going to add some decorative touches. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to build an automated composter. I will start adding some barrels. This is the area the composter is going to occupy. We can open and close it, and now we can decorate. Lastly, I'm going to build a frame around it. And perfect! This is ready to compost. Next I'm going to start planting some crops. I'm going to be placing some water spots on the ground. One thing that we can do to hide the water is we can use jack-o'-lanterns. like this. And finally, we can prepare the ground with our trusted hoe. Now everything should be ready to plant. Here to my left, I'm going to create a pumpkin patch with a mixture of wheat. I will add also some extra pumpkins, just for measure. And a very nice trick that we can use is that we can use drip leaf as a pumpkin leaf. It adds a really nice touch. I also like to mix grass in between the wheat. Another really nice trick is to use a pickle on top of the pumpkin. It looks like a stem. We can use bone meal to make everything grow faster. And this will be the perfect place for some bees. While we wait for the pumpkins to grow, we can plant the rest of our crops. For instance, we can use this bed to plant some ferns. This other one we can use for some pitcher plants. We can mix plants with the seed and without to add some variation, like this. We can even add some string to some of the plants so they don't grow too tall. I like to mix some random plants as well from time to time, because in our gardens we cannot always control what is going to grow. I will add here some water and a smaller composter. Beautiful. I will continue planting some wheat here, mixing in some other plants from time to time, and here seems like the perfect spot for another bee. This is taking shape. In our central bed, I'm going to plant more wheat, but this time I want to also add a scarecrow. Scarecrow is super easy to put together. You can put really almost any combination of blocks that you want, as long as you use a jack-o'-lantern, and you can create a very cute hat just with some string and some carpet. Isn't it cute? Now we can add the rest of the wheat. Next crop is going to be some tomato plants. You will say, wait a moment, we don't have tomatoes in Minecraft. Technically, but to be fair, the rose looks very much like a tomato plant. And if you use some armor stands as well, you can use them as the tomato guidelines. It looks very much like a tomato. Here I'm going to use also some fences to mimic an empty spot, like the tomato plant died here. We can use the rose bush and use them as tomato plants. Look at this. Isn't it cute? Finally, I'm going to create a little bit of a shade for our tomato plants. And like this, our tomato plants are ready. I want to have an area that is kind of under construction. For that I had a very cute idea that I like very much. This is going to be basically a hole. Like I'm working here, I'm currently excavating the place, so maybe put some other crops in here. So I will create a little mountain of dirt. This. The amazing trick is that you can use a sign and a couple of iron bars to create a shovel. And the two iron bars on top. Cute. We can add some details like little stones, and I will create as well a small cart. I love this little corner. We can create another hand cart here. Perfect. Some hay bales here. Just little details. Cool. We need some watering method. I'm going to build a fountain. Here, I think is a perfect spot. I want to go down this direction. So we have now a pipe that connects all the way to the fountain. We can fill the hole with water. For the fountain itself, we can add just a block with a lever and the actual pipes. We can add something to collect the water. If you use a glass pane, you can simulate the water flowing. It is a nice fountain. I want to use these trees over here as we were collecting some type of sap from the tree. Maybe we can imagine that these are maple trees and we are going to make some syrup. First of all, I'm going to add the bottom of the barrels. We can use some honey as if it is going to be the content, and completing with some trapdoors, we can build the rest of the barrel. Finally, to simulate some kind of device extracting the sap from the tree, we can use these tripwire hooks. This other zone over here, I want it to be a vineyard. I'm going to be alternating some sweet berries that is going to be simulating the grapes, some fence posts that are going to be like the trunk of the vine, some dead bushes as well to simulate some smaller trunks with smaller branches, and like this we are going to be building the vineyard. On top of everything, I want to add some leaves. It's going to have mainly two purposes. One, that you don't get hurt, and two, it just makes for a fuller vine. And finally, we can use some bone meal so we sow the actual berries. Here, I'm going to add another little barrel, simulating that we already yield some of the grapes. I want to build a fence around it. Don't want it to be too perfect. Lastly, I want to add some fruit trees. That's just a regular tree, but as per the fruit, I'm going to use red terracotta. It is going to look like apples. We can use as well strip and group. They had very big apples, but they look like apples. Now I'm going to build a couple more fruit trees. In this case, I'm going for another type of fruit, so I will be mixing orange terracotta and pumpkins. It's going to look like oranges. I want to add some smaller details all over the place. since this is an apple tree, we can have a little better with apples. A block that looks a little bit like apples because of the color is a copper ore block. It has these reddish colors plus the greenish blue looks like the leaves. It makes for a really nice apple bottle. Here I'm going to put a pumpkin storage, so I'm going to pile up some pumpkins, and again I will add some details. As another extra wonderful detail, I'm going to create a squashed pumpkin over here, just like if we were coloring the pumpkin and it got all messed up. So I'm using some red sandstone, some carpet, and for the seeds, bamboo buttons. To simulate the handcart that we are using to bring the pumpkins, I'm going to use an armor stand with a pumpkin head. If we use a composter now, we can push the composter with a piston and it will look like the pumpkin is inside. So to finish all off, I only want to build one last thing, and it's a great fruit tree. Our gardens will be ready now for the summer, so we can have all the tasty salads that we want.